It's my absolute pleasure to invite or to have Corey Snyder on the line. He's the sales manager of partner sales at Infusionsoft. He's got immense history and experience in sales. We've had the privilege of working with him on a number of occasions. And welcome, Corey. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Thank you for having me.
Ah, excellent. You are there. There's always that nervous moment as to whether we can actually hear us or not. So I guess you're
Well, I imagine there's going to be a little bit of a delay, so.
that's all right. I'll talk slowly and make sure that we don't overlap. So that's brilliant. Thanks very much for coming on to the show today, Corey.
No problem.
Brilliant. I've got a couple of questions for you in terms of tapping in to your knowledge, etc. But before we dive into getting the best out of your sales knowledge, we've just come back from Icon, and that was an amazing experience. You was obviously there for the whole event and all the preparation before and the after. What was the main highlights you took away from Icon this year?
Great question. There's actually I would say two things that I took away. One was I've been in Infusionsoft for almost 7 years, so I've had the pleasure of being able to attend about 6 of them, I think. And
Wow.
the first one I attended was a very small conference. I think we had maybe 5 sponsorships max. And I remember I was about 6 months into the job and getting the opportunity to go to this Icon. And a lot of customers that were there were coming up to us and they were upset. They weren't too excited about it. And since then, though, as each Icon has gone on, it's been a completely different shift. You've had people really excited about it. We're not getting a lot of the different type of feedback. And so the epiphany that I've been able to have is that we are really building a product that helps small businesses succeed. And we're making it easier to use year after year after year, easier to consume year after year after year, and putting different types of businesses in positions to grow that they didn't have the opportunity to do so before. Even with the additional product launches that you mentioned earlier in your call, with the shopping cart feature and having their own merchant account, and the opportunity to use swipe the card right there at the event. And the responsive email marketing, which should have been launched a long time ago, but that's beside the point. So I would probably say that's number one. Number two was I work with partners, just like Daryl and Paula. We have a close relationship when we've had a chance to work together for a long time. So giving the chance to meet my partners face to face, to strategize and go over different tactical things that we can do within your business, to be able to bounce ideas from somebody that is outside the forest, and be able to help you just bounce ideas off of me, take some of the knowledge that I've had as I've been able to influence 300 plus certified partners in the ecosystem, figure out what they're doing, what is making them successful, and be able to share that knowledge with all these other partners to help make them successful. So building and continuing that relationship with my partners, as well as just seeing the evolution of Infusionsoft, not only the size of the company, but in just what we're doing for small businesses.
Wow. Thanks for that. And that sounds some amazing takeaways out of Icon. So thank you very much for sharing that. Today's theme is really talking about sales and sales pipelines. And we work with a lot of small businesses as you do, and it's quite interesting because when you mention sales, sometimes you get quite a cold look back. Some people really shy away from sales. Now, Corey, you're a sales professional and you've been involved in sales for more than 15 years. What do you like so much about sales to keep you in that profession?
I love sales. It is a challenge every single day. I get the chance to. The great thing about sales is you feel that you figured something out, and then you go and try it on the next call, and it totally fails in your face. So you're always learning, you're always developing. And so that's the reason why I love sales is, one, I get to talk to a ton of different people. I get to experience completely wide range of your experience levels, of where they're at in their business, of their revenues, the whole 9 yards. So the reason why I love sales is because it is, and it may sound bad, but it's a game to me. It's a challenge in the sense that each person I talk to, within 5 to 10 minutes, I know if the product that I'm selling is going to be a good fit for them. And there's two types of fits. Fit one, it's a fit for their business. Fit two, they're a fit for the product. And the reason why I say that is there are business owners that say they want to grow, but don't have the passion to go through some of those additional hard times that they experienced before to push even further into that growth. So I love sales because I get the chance to, one, talk to a lot of people, figure out, is my product the right product, and if not, direct them into the right direction. I get to learn a little bit more about small business. I get to learn a little bit more about what they do. But I've sold many different things, all the way down to golf clubs.
Yeah.
And before Infusionsoft, I sold education. And what I realized with education is, and with sales specifically, is there is a process to the madness. And we used to use something called Raymopser. And it was just an analogy. It meant rapport, admissibility, motivation, options, because we were talking about financing, payment, and then referrals, and then start date. And we just came up with something that was just stupid simple that we knew that we could follow. That way, when we got comfortable and we figured that we could step outside the zone, when our calls or our sales started to dip, we could always go back to the basics.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I love sales is you have a lot of sales techniques out there. A lot of people like to discuss different things. But ultimately, for me, it comes down to the fact that I love what I do. I love selling. And at the same time, I love seeing people grow from the things that I provide. So that's the reason why I love sales.
That's excellent. And I guess in that process of working with sales, you've got to really focus on building rapport with your clients or with your prospects. Do you find that an important element of it?
That is key, because if the person doesn't, people know when they're being sold. And at the end of the day, I have no interest in selling somebody. I have every interest in figuring out, can what I'm offering change their life, good or bad? And if I can build a rapport, and how I build a rapport is very simple. I go look at their LinkedIn. I go look at their Facebook. I go look at their website and read their bio. I figure out where they're located and what is the weather like. So that way, when I start that conversation, I say, hey, what interested you into Infusionsoft? Oh, I was jumping around on your website. Oh, I noticed that you live in Washington, D.C. It's pretty cold there right now, isn't it? Yeah, it's about 90 degrees. I don't mean to rub it in because it's nice and warm, but, dot, dot, dot. And that's how you build rapport, is you get to actually know them. First and foremost, on our leadership model, right in the middle, it says care. And you have to have the same thing with people that you're working with or that you're attempting to influence to work with you or purchase your product. And if you don't care, then it doesn't matter. There's no way you can build sincere rapport. There's no way you're going to get referrals or repeat business from them.
I love that, Corey, and I love the fact that these days, with the accessibility of information through LinkedIn, through websites, through social media, you can actually gain a huge insight into people and use that to your advantage in building rapport so easily. With that extra little bit of effort, then that certainly rings some chimes with me in terms of identifying with that. With the small businesses with the partners that you deal with and with other businesses, what do you think are the key challenges that businesses come across from actually effectively putting a sales process into place?
Well, I'm glad that you guys talked about pipeline management, because in my opinion, there's two types of processes. There's the process of the conversation, and then there's the process of follow-up. Process of the conversation, that you can research that and study that, and most of them are going to be pretty much the same. Just like as I mentioned with working with the university that I worked at, we had that RAMOPS. It was a very simple process. Here, we follow opportunity management. So we have the very beginning is a new lead. And what we do is we just have specific things we want to know about them in that call. Right? What is their website? How many employees do they have? If they're comfortable, what are their revenues? um, what products are they currently using, how big is their list, so on and so forth. And all that is just data collection, because until I know that information, I can't further assist them to understand if Infusionsoft or any product or service that I want to sell them is the right fit for them. Because otherwise you're going to get a bunch of people to cancel, they're going to ask for refunds, and you're going to have a bunch of problems on your hands. So in my opinion, the easiest way to set up a sales process is to put something in that can be followed. And that's the reason why I love that you talked about opportunity management, because that is really easy to follow. Not only that, as a manager, as you're using opportunity management, you can actually go through and you can see where are people getting stuck. I can go and take a look at my sales rep, and I can see that they're getting stuck right in the middle of the sales process, where people are staying in that part for 7 to 12 days. Well, they shouldn't stay in that process for that long. So I can coach to that, and I can train to that.
Excellent.
It's really interesting, and what I really enjoy hearing Corey talk about is really qualifying your leads, is making sure someone is your customer and not trying to sell ice to Eskimos and give someone a hard time to buy something that's not right for them, but really get to know your target audience, make sure they are your target audience, and qualify them. I love hearing that.
That's the most important part, because if you don't do that, you're just wasting time. And not only that, you won't understand who your target market is and who you should be going after and who you should be marketing to and spending. There's a lot of people out there spending a ton of money on social media. I don't think I'd feel comfortable jumping into the boat that everybody else is in and weighing down that boat if I didn't understand exactly where I was going and what I was going after. So that's why qualifying is so important. You'll get really good at it, where within 5 to 10 minutes you will know if this is the right fit for you, or if they need 6 months and you need to nurture them through the process with Infusionsoft.
Excellent. 100%. I think that's really useful. I could sit and talk to you all day, Corey, in terms of this whole topic. Unfortunately, we need to bring this to a close. As a quick takeaway, Corey, what would you say to our listeners in terms of what your real top tips are for anyone who's struggling with sales?
First and foremost, ask yourself if you love what you do. If you don't love the sale, that's okay. Just stop doing it and find something else you love to do. That's going to be the first thing. The second thing is, with anything you do, a pro sport, right, soccer, hockey, whatever it is, you learn your craft. You study, you watch videos, this is what you are passionate about. And if you don't love what you do, then you won't be passionate about it. Read books. Question-based selling is a really good book. That's a little more old school, but that still resonates today. There's a lot of different sales training that you can take advantage of. But that's going to be the tip, is find your passion. Understand if that's what you really want to do. And if not, that's okay. There are plenty of sales professionals out there that you can hire. And if you're a small business and still struggling, do a commission-based only job. It's possible. People love those things still. So that would be probably my tips, is first and foremost, understand, figure out if you love what you do, and then 2, hone your craft. Get good at what you love.
What fantastic advice, Corey. That's really, really appreciated. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Corey. Thanks very much for taking the time out of your busy day to come and join us on the show today.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right, and we'll talk soon. So thanks very much. On the screen, you can see Corey's Facebook and Twitter ID, but for those people just listening in, it's facebook.com/Corey Dwayne. That's DAWAYNE. Or on Twitter, it's @Corey Snyder. So if you want to hook up with Corey on social media, then please do.
He does some awesome videos on his Facebook page that really need to be checked out. If you haven't found him already, do go to his Facebook page. I love them when they appear in my feed.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.